Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today is going to be my last 3 days of my large animal medicine and surgery clinical rotation. This rotation has been so draining, and it's been very frustrating as well. I absolutely love everyone that I've been working with, but there are a lot of things in this rotation that need to be improved on, which I'm writing down recommendations about what they can do, because I really did not like this rotation at all. The biggest problem for me right now is the fact that I'm the only student on this weekend, and I have 9 patients, which is a ridiculous amount. Thankfully, I only have to check on 4 of them in the morning, but I still have to do the medical records for all 9. Not to mention I am on call tomorrow, which is going to be Sunday. So I am technically on call from 8 a.m. Sunday to 8 a.m. Monday. However, I am at the end of this rotation, and my next rotation starts at 9 a.m. on Monday. And that one is going to be pathology. I can't tell you how many times I've actually cried about this rotation, which is not very healthy. Honestly, I went into this rotation hoping it was going to be like every other rotation I've had before this, where I'm scared about it and hoping for the best. And this rotation did not deliver that for me. Granted, I did learn a lot. I met some wonderful people, but I should not be the only student this weekend. A typical day on this rotation is you go in pretty early in the morning to do your 7 a.m. treatments if you have patients. So right now, since I have 4 and they are pretty complicated cases, and it does take me a while to get through each one, I go in at 4:30 in the morning. And then today, I didn't get home until like 11:30. It's just very long days, and they expect a lot from you. And this is definitely not what I want to do, but I do have to go through it just because it is a required rotation for SGU and Virginia Tech. I am almost done, thankfully. I did finish all of the medical records today, so hopefully the next 2 days will be a little bit easier and I can focus on transitioning into my pathology rotation and take on any new patients that I get tomorrow and get them ready to transfer on Monday morning to the new students. During the weekday, I would most likely go in at like 5:30 in the morning, and then our days typically didn't end until like 5 or 6. We are supposed to get off at 5, but that doesn't typically happen because there is usually a lot of patients for surgery, and since there was only 2 of us, we had a hard time divvying up who did what because we were all constantly busy. So I feel like from a learning standpoint, I don't know if I really took in as much information as I could have if I had only like 1 or 2 cases to really focus in, learn how to do the ultrasounds, learn how to read CT scans, MRIs, radiographs, like stuff like that, learning how to interpret the blood work. I don't feel like I got the in-depth that I thought I was going to get with this rotation. I feel like I barely scratched the surface. But I am looking forward to my next rotation because those hours are much better. I do have 6 on-call shifts for pathology, just as a heads up. I'm sure it's going to be fine. For the rest of the evening though, I am going to pack up my stuff for my on-call shift just so I can be ready, just in case I do end up having to stay tomorrow or be called in. And then I do want to get my stuff together for my pathology rotation as well. I did do all of the pre-work today because this one requires a few quizzes that you have to do before you go into the rotation, just so you can have an idea on what the biosecurity is like. I do want to go to bed soon. It's almost 8 o'clock and I am struggling to keep my eyes open after waking up at 3:30 this morning. That's rough, and I can't believe I have to do it again for 2 more days by myself. I don't know how I keep getting myself into these situations where I'm always the last student to leave a rotation. Just bad luck, I guess. This morning went pretty well with taking care of the patients. It went a little bit faster, even though I ran into some complications this morning. One of my horses decided to rub his face on something, or possibly got an insect bite. We're not entirely sure what happened, but his right eye was completely swollen this morning, and he was supposed to be going home next week. So I don't think that's gonna happen anymore. Again, this is about like the 3rd or 4th time where he has stayed longer with us. He's been here since June. If that gives you any indication, it is now October. He's been there for a while. And then one of my other patients managed to get her catheter detached from the T-set, so we had to figure that out and make sure that the catheter was still patent to make sure it still worked, because right now we're still giving intravenous medication, which is very necessary for her recovery because she just had surgery last week for something very invasive. So we do antibiotics for quite a few days after that surgery. Other than that, though, I took care of a few of my other patients. I wrote the medical notes when I came home. I actually ended up taking a 3-hour nap as well because I am on call today. So I'm certain I will be called in at some point. I was just trying to be extra prepared and catch up on some sleep before tomorrow. I apologize if you can hear my neighbors upstairs. They are always pretty loud. I now have 10 patients to write daily assessments for tomorrow before transferring to the new block and starting my new rotation. We had an appointment that came in as a drop-off because they couldn't come tomorrow to drop off the patient. So they decided to come in today so that horse can spend the night and get surgery tomorrow. It's a lot of paperwork, and it took me about an hour and a half this morning just to do the 9 patients that I already had. So I don't know how I'm going to do this tomorrow, but my plan is again to put together kind of what the daily assessment is going to be and just fill in the numbers tomorrow morning, just so I can save myself some time and make sure that all of the medications match up and everything is good paperwork wise. I already did the assessments and plans yesterday for all patients besides the one that came in today, so I think I'm going to have to do something with that medical record just to be on the safe side so they don't ask me to do it tomorrow morning when I should be focusing on my next rotation. That's kind of what's been going on here. I am planning on starting to put things together for my new rotation tomorrow, so I'm ready for that just in case I get called in the middle of the night, so I can just put it in my car and hope for the best. I know there was talk about an emergency coming in today for a foal that wasn't doing well. However, nothing has been confirmed yet, and I was told that at like 11 o'clock this morning, and it's now almost 6:30. So I don't think that they're coming. Wish me the best of luck on my on-call shift, and I will let you know if I do end up getting called in. happened. I am going to head in soon. They haven't contacted me yet, but we have a colic case coming in at 9. It is currently almost 8 o'clock at night. So since I now know that this is on the schedule, I'm gonna go ahead and eat something really quick, get dressed, and start getting ready to go in. I just got done with my case. It's around like 10:20, so honestly, this didn't take as long as I thought it would, but I still have to go home and do the paperwork. The resident was nice enough to say that she could do the history and the physical exam findings, so I'm just going to do the assessment and plan and then prepare a daily assessment for tomorrow morning. So now I have 11 patients. Hopefully there's not a 12th later on in the night. So I'm gonna go home, get the medical records done, and get some sleep. And hopefully not be called in because I still have to be up at 3:30 in the morning so I can be back here at 4:30 to take care of my other patients. Good morning, it is now Tuesday. I just kind of wanted to wrap up this video because I was so confused with what I was supposed to do yesterday morning to transfer my patients to the next rotation block. And I really have no idea now why they made me come in to take care of the horses and finish off the medical records, because I did not transfer my patients at all. They said, oh yeah, after you're done with your treatments, you can go. I still left because I'm like, this makes no sense. This is a primary care rotation, and we are supposed to be transferring our patients over, which is the whole reason why if we have an externship right after a primary care rotation, we can't leave on the weekend. We have to stay there and transfer our patients on Monday morning, and then we can leave for our externship. It's just very confusing and frustrating. I feel like I've been told so much misinformation since coming to Virginia Tech about what primary care rotations are supposed to be like. And now 2 of the rotations I've been on that are primary care have been so different compared to what they told us, because even before going to Colorado State University for my first externship of this year, I was on community practice, which is a primary care rotation. So I scheduled a travel day on Monday thinking I was going to have to transfer patients that morning, and I didn't. I was actually able to leave on the weekend, and they just don't bother telling you that. I guess if I were to have a patient, then I should transfer, but then again, with large animal surgery and medicine, I didn't transfer any of my patients, which was really weird. I did go in and do the treatments and finish off the medical records, so I don't know if that's what they're meaning, because to me that doesn't mean transferring patients. For me, transferring patients means that you actually talk to someone about the patients that you have and transfer it to them, whether that be the intern, resident, clinician, or the students on the next block. I hope I don't get into trouble since I followed the intern's advice and left and got ready for my next rotation. I'm at least done with the rotation and I can move on to the next one, which will be a little bit better, more of what I want to do. Thanks so much for hanging out with me this week, and I will see you in another video shortly. I do hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.